Everybody, this is the MC Dominus bringing another Pokemon Wi-Fi battle. This is against Master Umbreon, and sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera. Alright, he leads with the lead Machamp. I'm just gonna explode in his face. I mean, I could go for the flamethrower. Hopefully, he'll get some aftermath damage, but I'm like, you know what, this Machamp's a threat to my team. I'm just gonna blow it up. So, he sends out Goggles, I send in Rhyperior, he's gonna switch out, and I'm gonna go for the Avalanche as he brings in Carol. Avalanche hits, and this Carol, this Shaman, I should say, is a beast, and it just takes that like a pro. And so that makes me sad. So I just switch into my wall Umbreon, and that Seed Flare does nothing because I don't think it has any special attack EVs, and my Umbreon just eats that. So we mutually can't do anything, so he switches out as I go for Toxic, and I Toxic Mr. Fox. And as you can see, he has a lot of walls on this team. Like most of his team's consistent with walls, as I protect and he sets up Stealth Rock. But yeah, so like the only real sweepers he had was Machamp and that Flygon, as you saw earlier, and the rest are just annoying pieces of crap that I just have to break through one by one. Which is crappy, because he Earthquakes, does nothing, I Dark Pulse, as you just saw. Sorry, wanted to just put that out there, and I kind of messed up on recording. So he switches out, he sends in Goggles, I go for Moonlight. Might have been better if I Dark Pulsed or something, because, well, for future reference, it might have been, but the real only play I was really sad about is the one coming up. I switch in the Rhyperior as he U-turns, and he sends in Mr. Fox. And this was the one play I was pretty sad about, because this is really the one play that mattered the most, because the game would have went completely different had I done this. I went for Earthquake instead of Stealth Rock. And I don't know what I was thinking at the time. I regretted it afterwards, but I didn't know the rest of his team. And I was just hoping I could get like this Mr. Fox out of the way or something, and I didn't go for Stealth Rock. So he's gonna Earthquake and kill my Rhyperior. He gets poison damage. I send in Hitmonchan, and I'm just gonna go for a substitute because this is my sub punch, Hitmonchan, and I don't know why more people don't run it, because Sub Punch Hitmonchan is like the ultimate Sub Puncher. It gets the Iron Fist, it gets the Stab, it gets the Focus Punch. And anyway, he sends in this thing after his Swampert dies of Toxic. I go for a substitute because I knew he was going to go for a Calm Mind. I go for the Focus Punch, and he Calm Minds again. That kind of creeped me out. I don't know why he really did that, but he did, so that happened. And after seeing how much my Focus Punch does, I don't think I can take him out with just my Mach Punch. So I'm going to have to sacrifice the sub, get hit by the Psychic, and just Focus Punch him again for death. Now, here was another bad play, but it wasn't as vital as setting up Stealth Rocks. He sends out his Carol, and he goes for the Seed Flare, and I went for the Ice Punch, and I just should have switched out back into my Umbreon, and I do not know why. But anyway, I send out Umbreon, he Seed Flares, it misses, and that's the only miss. That will be the only miss you'll ever see him get with Seed Flare this entire game. So anyway, I have Poison, he Seed Flares, it hits. I take damage, Toxic does nothing, thought he was going to switch out. And so I know this thing has Natural Cure, and I pretty much was guaranteed this thing had Rest, because it's the only recovery move he really has, because I don't think it can learn Synthesize, but he gets a crit on that Seed Flare, and I get a crit on this Dark Pulse. And I just thought that was hilarious. So I knew if he killed me, his Carol would die, so I just, protect, and he rests, and that made me sad because I should have just Moonlighted. Yeah, Moonlight would be really effective there. But he's asleep, so I'm like, oh well, I can go for the Moonlight now. And, Moonlight, bam. I run Moonlight instead of Wish, yeah, I do. So he sends in his goggles. I protect, just waste the U-turn PP. I have nothing that wants to take a U-turn. So I'm like, all right, let's find out how much damage this U-turn will do. And this U-turn goes, and it barely does half. Like, not even. And I was really disappointed because I thought it did more, or else I would have stayed in and done other plays in the past, and that kind of disappointed me right there. So I didn't know, so whatever. He switches out, I Moonlight, and that happens. I should have Dark Pulsed or something there, just, I don't know. So he U-turns, I block it, he U-turns again, and I don't know how many, I'll just tell you later. So Carol comes out, and I was gonna, sorry, I messed up what I was gonna say. I meant to say it later in the game. But anyway, he gets toxic, and it's gonna be like this for a while. That's why I'm messing up, because I really don't care. Because like I said, this is just going to continue in this cycle, and it's just not gonna stop until a lot later. But here he makes, like, the ultimate play. Because I did not know what his last poke was. I knew he was going to switch out. I thought it was going to be to his Flygon, but he actually switches out to Loki, which toxics us both, because now both of our Umbreons are toxic, which makes me sad face. But I know I could outstall it, because mine's a toxic stall version. So I'm like, whatever, I protect. It fails because he switches out. So I'm like, okay, well, I get hurt by Persian, but his Umbreon's gonna die anyway. And then he goes for this aromatherapy, and I was like, you've got to be effing kidding me. I was like, oh my god, he's making this extremely long, and a much longer than it has to be. So he just sends out this goggles crap. I go for toxic. This is yay here. He toxics. He's gonna try to U-turn. No, he doesn't try to U-turn here. Sorry, I go for the protect. I get hurt by toxic, and he goes for the earthquake. And I was like, cool. So I wish he would have went for the earthquake again, just so I could get more damage on it, and I would have won. But spoiler alert, I didn't win. So Carol comes out. We get lefties gain, poisoned. This is just absurdly long. I send on my Magmortar. I'm like, all right, I don't think he has any Seed Flares left. I know he's going to go the aromatherapy. Let's do this. Yeah, I thought he ran out of Seed Flares. I don't know how much PP a Seed Flare can have, but I thought he was going to switch to Goggles to take my Fire Flamethrower, but actually, so I went for the Will-O-Wisp. It missed. I go for Focus Blast, and Focus Blast is just going to kill this Loki in one shot. So, sorry Loki, you were not a good special wall. He sends in Goggles. I'm like, oh, if that thing had Stealth Rock, it would have taken so much damage by now. I was like, why did I not set up Stealth Rock? He Earthquakes. I didn't know if he was going to Outrage or Earthquake, so I wanted the Umbreon to be safe. But now, since this thing's Scarfed, I know he's going to have to switch into Carol. I go for the Drill Peck. Nothing happens. It takes a good amount of damage. So I'm like, okay, this Carol will die in one more shot. Seed Flare misses. Okay, so I was wrong before. It gets 2 misses. But this does not kill him. He lives by 1 HP. And I was like, you mother effer. I know he's going to go for the Seed Flare instead of the Rest, because Rest will not help him. I Sucker Punch. I was like, Sucker Punch. And I don't get any crits or anything, so it brings him down, but it does not kill him. He Outrages, which is going to just destroy my Pachi. And I was like, oh, sad. I switch into Magmortar. It loses half, so I'm at half health. So I'm not going to live this Outrage. And this was just the cherry on top to piss me off this game. He gets my Flame Body Burn Hacks, and I'm like, crap. And that